Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my writers and weirdos out there. I am KibbyRose. I am AuthorTube's lesbian psychic stoner, and I'm here to entertain you for a couple of hours and maybe help you be a little bit more productive, fill you in on some current events. We'll see what happens. Today is Wednesday, May 21st. It is the middle of the week. It is Writers Wednesday. So let me roll the opener and we can get on with our little stream here. So first of all, we're going to be fixing the opener and the timer, and there's a lot of little critiques that we're going to be doing that you guys are going to be seeing some changes for. I got a total channel review, and yeah, let's just say I really enjoyed the critiques and the information that they gave me, so we're going to be making those changes. But first, I want to say thank you to my replay crew, my watch crew, and all of my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. I'm trying to get up to 500 subscribers by the end of the year so we can have super chats. So when I do Psychic Fridays, which is also a new thing, we can actually have live chats with super chats, and you guys can ask your questions live, and we don't have to do the whole, other forms of payment type thing. So help a girl out, help some other people out, and go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already, and hit the subscribe button if you're not already. And if so, ring that bell so that, you get notified when we go live, because I know that I go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but even I notice with my favorite, especially my Emily D. Baker, having that bell rung really does help when it comes to those live streams that I sometimes forget about because I get lost in my own week oftentimes. So we got a couple of new things that are coming up with a lot of changes that you're going to be seeing both karmically, spiritually, energy wise, and for all of my creatives out there, you're going to see a lot of energy push towards creative energy starting. We have shifted into the sun of Gemini, so that's going to benefit a lot of us that have to balance between two worlds. We'll go into a little bit of that later after we do our first 10-minute sprint. But guys, I have so much to talk about, from Katy Perry's career ending and what I've been basically catching up on past predictions that are now coming true. And then I've got some future predictions for you in regards to the fashion industry. I'm suddenly realizing why I might have got a little caught up in the whole fashion industry this year. There's a lot of predictions that are coming in regards to that world and what's going to be happening by the end of the year, even in the fashion industry. Evidently, filter down syndrome is going to be happening because of Hollywood. So I'll give you a little bit of information on that. I've got information on Jake Tapper and how we've got some perfect example of people who are getting their karmic lessons about things they've done for the last 5 years, and perfect examples of how Pluto's shift has definitely affected some people. We've got Whoopi Goldberg, Gavin Newsom, Pedro Pascal, even Harry and Meghan, a little bit of update on them and future forecasting. So for my more what do I call it? My more psychic clients, my more witchy clients, I am going to cover the Gemini signs, or for anybody who's interested, even because we shifted into the sun of Gemini yesterday. I told my clients that is one thing that I would still continue to cover on a monthly basis for the channel. So that is something that I will also be covering after our 10-minute sprint. But before we go into our 10-minute sprint, I've got some channel announcements that we're going to do. And guys, it's gotten to the point where it's become a full-blown notebook at this point. Okay. So just so you know where we are with everything, Cora and I, hopefully, fingers crossed, have our appointment to finish our first half of recording for our Dance Moms React videos tomorrow. So we're going to be that is going to start getting into full motion with that. I've just finished season 2, episode 1 of the pictures. That is set and prepped for voiceovers, which I'm also going to do tomorrow before Cora and I record. I have a lot of stuff that I have to, a lot of final touches that I have to do tomorrow that I'm going to get done, including the voiceovers for for all the videos. So, and then January 1st on this channel, we are going to be launching the Rewatch Project. And the Rewatch Project is also going to include the old videos, the craft videos, the WitchCasket videos, and everything else. So keep an eye out for that. On July 1st, August 1st is when we're going to start actually uploading to our Cora and Kibby Reacts channel. So keep an eye out for that, because we've got, I have private reactions to videos that I've been doing myself. Cora is going to be doing some private reactions to some videos in regards to cases that I can't necessarily cover myself. I'm going to be covering like the Karen Reed, Dance Mom stuff, and a lot of reaction videos in regards to our friends in Ireland and the UK. She's going to cover reacting to some of the diddler India fiddler type situation, simply because A, PTSD for me, and two, hits too close for home. I've mentioned before in the past that I know people that were in those situations that are, you know, so I'm going to try to keep it PC as best I can, but there's a lot of stuff on there where I can't listen to it because I've already heard it, and I don't want to hear it again. So in that situation, we do have that coming up on the Kibby and Cora Reacts channel. Then on this channel, I have the continued project of the Psycho to Psychic series that I am going to start recording. I've reset up the filming room because now we don't have guests. Found the scripts, found the stories, got everything lined up. So that's going to be happening. I've started on my techno album and creation of my techno album. I've already started doing my song lyrics because I have an entire folder of song lyrics and poems that I wanted to turn into song lyrics. And that project has already started. And then there's two other projects because, yeah, I've got a lot on my plate, but the two other projects is possibly an AuthorTube convention in Davenport here in Spokane. I'm actually looking into it. There was a surprising amount of feedback from a couple of people on my Discord. So that is something that I decided to look at pricing wise. Is it actually going to happen? More than likely not. It's just something I've added to my plate. And then I have a couple more recording projects that I have to do in regards to our series. So keep an eye out. All that stuff is coming up both on this channel and the Kibby and Cora Reacts channel. When I launch that channel, all the links will be in the information below. Cora and I will both be promoting it excessively on both of our channels, I'm sure, once it actually launches. So do not worry if you're like, where is this channel? We haven't really made it public yet. We're just in the works of getting it taken care of. But since we do writing sprints here and since we do productive sprints, most of the work that I'm doing when I'm doing sprints here, it is in regards to that pile of stuff. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of what I've been working on. For Amy, before I forget, because I don't want to do this in the middle of the sprint again, we're handling the Armin van Buuren live at the EDC Las Vegas 2023. Okay. And I'm at time mark 1812. So there you go, Amy, for you to listen along, because you always do this to me. But I will be working on actually collecting. I'm on season 2, episode 3 of collecting the pictures for the Dance Moms videos that I have to do the voiceovers for. So that is what I'm going to be working on this sprint or for this live stream. And we're going to jump into our 10-minute sprint. When we get back, I'm going to talk about my predictions about the designer bags and what's going to be ending up happening with the designer industry, because wow, guys, I was a little surprised about what they are telling me about what's going to happen there. And then I have some predictions and some comments about the Karen Reed case, Whoopi Goldberg, Jake Tapper. Yeah, you guys, if you were listening along, I already named all of it, but we'll be getting into that on the next sprint. So we've got 10 minutes on the clock for now. It is, again, it's going to be muted because me doing the rants, this rants without sprints editing, it's a lot easier without the sound. And most of you put on headphones anyway. So I will see you all in 20 minutes. If you have a separate timer that you are matching along with, get ready to hit that start button because we are going to do it in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. All right, that's the end of that sprint. And I got a total of, okay, wrong key. That one. 13 pictures done. Ooh, I don't like that number. 13 pictures done in that 10-minute sprint. So we are going to switch this around and we're going to remove this. Bam. So how did you all do? So for any of you that are watching in the replay crew, go ahead and comment in the section down below. Hit that little timestamp button and put in the comments down below what you were working on and or if you were working on any of things. Me personally, when I watch some of these, I just zoom past the sprints, but that's just me. Anyway, for if you are working here and if you are here during the sprints and you actually watch them, put in the comments. Let me know what you're working on. I will come back. I will comment. Trust me, I look at the analytics every day. I know when you guys are commenting. Obviously, some of you have gotten my responses. So on that note, I have a couple of things that we're going to rant about a little bit, but Cora came in and I see that she has been having a hell week, really. Day from hell. Trying to deal with the rest of the day from hell. Will be in and out because dinner and bedtime. And when I read that, I was like, day from hell. And your angels flew in and were like, let's card reading. I know it's not Friday, but card reading. So I'm going to give you a card reading because last time I said you were going to get a 3-prong hit. We got a 3-prong hit and I don't like how it ended. So we're going to bring in the cards this time. 21 minutes left to watch through, to add and fix last minute things, and then have to edit the outro. Well, you're doing really good, girl. I give you props. You got 21 minutes left to watch and edit, and that's pretty damn good. So we're going to do a card read for you real quick. And I know how you are, so I'm going to try to keep it as vague as possible. Because, yes, I know how you are. But let's check in on you, shall we? We shall. Yes, we shall. Not necessarily you. I don't like this answer. We're going to check with the cards, but they're basically saying it's not necessarily you. Just sometimes things are what they are. And this might actually, they're saying, because, wow, really, they're saying that how you and hubby mitigate this situation is going to determine how the rest of the year moves forward. So, and so far from what they're saying, you're doing well. So let's check this. So we've got, oh yeah, you want to see the cards, huh? Forgot about that. So we've got obsidian for you. We've got hematite. And we've got black tourmaline, which is very interesting because these are all like very protective, very powerful stones. So let's see what we got going on here. 39. 39 for our Miss Cora. All right, so observing the self, self-reflection, know thyself. Okay, so this goes into alignment of, okay, we know why we got, okay, without getting into details, we know why we got sick. You even said on your video that we needed to start taking better care of ourselves. This is something from the past that they're reiterating. We need to start looking at taking better care of ourselves. We might not be keeping that promise. They'll make things work worse if you don't start taking care of yourself. So, hematite, becoming grounded and getting back to the earth, practically, and centeredness, balance, and calm. You need to get, I wonder if we need to get back to a routine. I wonder if we need to get, I know, yeah, okay, I just heard you yell like routine. Are you kidding me? I have 3 little ones. Maybe it's time to actually start getting back to a routine, or as much of one as we can. Black tourmaline, because kids actually do love structure. Wow, I turned right to it. Kids actually do like structure and they thrive under structure. And that lack of structure might be what is going on. So black tourmaline. Oh, you're gonna be mad at this. Healthy boundaries. Repelling and dispelling unwanted energies, shielding and protecting healthy independence. It might be time to start creating more of a structured routine for the children. for each of them and adhering to it for all three of you, maybe. You tend to do really well keeping to your own structure, my dear, but with the kids, not so much. So maybe it's time. And just because it's summer doesn't mean that we don't need to have some structure. Okay. That might be what's going on, is we need to start establishing ground rules, boundaries, protocol, routines type thing, structured. This is how we're going to do our day. From 9 to 10, we do this. From 10 to 11, we do this type thing. Oh, I feel bad because it feels like it's going to be more work for you. But at the same time, this part of being a mama in that. So take a deep breath. I will help you figure this out if you need help figuring it out. But it actually might be time to get one of those wall calendars, you know, and maybe do it that way. And maybe also having the oldest start holding himself responsible for some of the stuff. And this is what I feel so bad about, because this is what always happens to the eldest, and all the older kids out there are going, yep, yeah. We might have to, it might be one of those where we start having like a star reward system. Like you make your bed, you get a star. And then after you accumulate a certain number of stars on your chart, you get a reward, you know, something to work up to. You know, maybe you get extra time on the tablet, which with his brothers, that might actually be a legitimate reward. We'll figure something out. You and I will work together. My mom, with my teaching skills and everything else and structure and everything else, honey, I'm sure we can figure something out. So on that note, I wanted to go into this little rant because this is something that I've been keeping my eye on in the background, because for those of you that have watched my channel for a while and know, I do actually really like the higher end, like Kate Spade, Coach type bags. Have I ever gone with Hermes bags? No. There's a certain level of like things that I will not rise up to, because truthfully, because I used to live in LA, used to live in San Diego, when I'd go to the outlet stores, which yes, they're not exactly 100% the same, but they're close enough. You could see that the Hermes bags in the Hermes store, up close and personal to touch, were pretty much the same quality and everything else as the Coach and the Kate Spade bags. Granted, yes, as I was growing up, and this is even in the 2000s, we used to say that the outlet stores did not carry the real luxury bags. That they were quote unquote expensive knockoffs. That's what we called them. So this wasn't even a secret to many of us that grew up in LA. However, for those of you that haven't been paying attention, the daughter of Birkin, I think it was Birkin. It was either Birkin or Hermes. I have to double check. I'll double check on the next one. But she actually came out and basically doubled down and backed the fact that the at Walmart store that makes the knockoff Birkin, it is Birkin because it's the Workin bag and the Birkin bag. The Birkin company uses the same factory that Walmart uses to create the knockoff Workin bag. And the daughter of Birkin actually exposes this. And evidently this young lady has been questioning her, which I give her kind of props, because truthfully, I'm like, honey, this is your money you're talking about. Like, you do realize this. But she brought up the fact that she's actually been questioning the Birkin fortune for quite some time now. And for her to admit this information, even online, or this is just, for a lot of us that grew up in LA, this is just confirmation that, like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't spend $30,000 on a Hermes bag, because obviously buying that $200 Coach bag was equivalent. And that, even though I don't have it anymore, because yeah, may karma come to those people that stole that from me when I was homeless. You know, it's just one of those things where I was just like, the quality, the workmanship, like, it was worth the $200 that I paid for it. I loved that bag. Trust me, I look up that bag every once in a while on the Coach website and just sigh, like, I want my bag back. There's two actually that I want back, but that's okay. All in due time, right? Eventually, you can't take it with you when you die, so really it doesn't matter. I mean, I kind of wish there was an outlet store like there was in LA, because I really did like going in and just seeing like the new stuff and the fall fashions, and like just, you know, I would get my fix by just like shopping a little bit and handling them, and then, you know, going home and but I also felt extremely happy to find out that Miss Birkin, your daughter, has now confirmed to the world that yeah, your fortune kind of isn't what it should be. And from what I'm seeing, and this is where my prediction about the fashion industry comes in, from what I'm seeing, this is both going to be a good thing and a bad thing. Why? Because those artists like Jimmy Choo, a lot of the unknown that artists and fashionistas or whatever, designers that were in Paris that actually create their stuff by hand, they're going to start blowing up, versus these big name companies are going to start shutting down. Let's just say that I feel like the Kate Spade and Coach level of things is going to maintain. However, like the Hermes type stuff, it's really, there's going to be not as a big divide when it comes to elite fashion and mainstream fashion. I mean, we're still going to have the Walmart fashion, don't get me wrong, and we're still going to have the elite Jimmy Choo fashion. But I'm just saying, like, the divide where people like me will never obtain any dress like created by Jimmy Choo is going to be more, the possibility is going to be more realistic, simply because yeah, and it's not necessarily like Jimmy Choo. And what I'm talking about is there's going to become more designers like Jimmy Choo, and they're going to become more popular, and the quality in general is going to increase on a level. Like, this is just going to make fashion all quality and good fashion, is what I'm trying to say. Like, fast fashion was already out the door anyway, and this is going to bring the high fashion kind of, it's more down to an affordable level. Not necessarily where, like, you know, you're going to still go to Walmart for your, you know, your $10 tank top undershirt, you know, and for that, you know, those pair of jeans that you're going to wear on that hiking trip that you're never going to, you know, bother wearing again because you bought them specifically to fall apart on a hiking trip. You know, we're still going to have that level of clothes, you know what I mean? But the possibility of you getting a Hugo Boss suit, or like your husband getting a Hugo Boss suit, is going to be more obtainable than it was 20, like even now, or 20 years ago. And that's all what I'm trying to say. But this is going to change the fashion industry. And not only are we going to get more quality, but we're going to get more creative, but not this crazy creative. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to get quality creative. It's almost like I can, as my angels just put it, this is an interesting way. This is not me saying this, but this is my angel saying it. We're going to bring back the work and craftsmanship style quality of the marble era into the modern day fashion era. And it's going to become where everybody ends up, like, everybody at the end of like the revolution in the olden days had like a marble statue in their house. Everybody's going to have like that marble statue, but in a fashion form in their house, if they want to, of course. If they don't, you know, that's on you. You can buy it yourself. Anyway, so on that note, we're going to jump into another 20-minute sprint. On this next rant, I am going to, so for all my witchy friends, I'm going to cover the sun sign stuff at the very end. So if you're watching for that, go away. No, I'm just kidding. You can hang around and listen, but a lot of you said you didn't. Yeah. Anyway, I definitely have two different groupings of people that watch my YouTube channel. It's kind of funny. I'm trying to figure out how to bridge the divide between you two. But I am going to cover the speculations in the Karen Reed case. And Jake Tapper. If you haven't heard what's going on with Jake Tapper, he's the one that just released the book on Biden. And oh, guys, the angels are basically going to use Jake Tapper as an example of what's going to end up happening here soon with several other people. So we're going to have to follow, and will I name names? I might. We'll see how many people are watching. Anyway, so we're going to switch like this. We're going to add this 20 minutes on the clock. So it's a 20-minute sprint. And we already did that. So I will see you all in 20 minutes. And I'm going to pop off because I got to use the restroom real quick. So I will be back. Do not worry, but I will see you all in 20 minutes. In 3, 2, 1, and sprint. that's the end of that sprint. And that's that really loud muscle car that comes by every day at 6 o'clock. Anyway, just because I need to, we're gonna stretch and save, stretch and remember to save your work. And why do I have this chair? For this reason. Okay, so all right. Whew. That was a good stretch. All right, so we got 24 pictures done on that sprint. That is a total of 56 items for this live stream so far that I have gotten done. I am pretty proud of myself. Just trucking right along. I have to admit, adding a little bit of espresso alcohol has definitely boosted the whole productive quality. I don't know. I like, surprisingly, I'm finding myself a little bit more productive, which is just, it's not even a shot, guys. It's like, honestly, it wouldn't even count as like the tiniest amount, but it seems to help. So it's basically like my mini espresso shot. Anyway, I forgot to give some of you an update because last stream I mentioned that I was going to the doctor to get a couple of moles looked at. Well, I have some good news and I have some bad news. Good news is non-cancerous. There's nothing, no cancer, no nothing like that. So we don't have to give them a biopsy. Bad news, I still have to get surgery. Why? The mole that you can't see very well, but this mole is actually growing into my nostril and is now impeding the airflow. And it's just going to get worse. And my breathing abilities is just going to get worse. So I have to go and get surgery done. And it's not just a simple procedure because where it's positioned and everything else, they actually have to take a chunk out of my nose, and it's going to be considered cosmetic surgery because they have to put like a little graft. Anyway, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to live stream when I get that done. I am not one that handles surgery well. Why haven't I ever gotten plastic surgery? Because I don't handle surgery well. I have severe anxiety. I go into, like, when I had to get my teeth done, guys, I was in some major panic attacks. So, yes, we're going to be doing it as soon as possible because it is impeding my breathing. However, I'm not looking forward to it at all. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do live streaming. Also, I don't know if I'll be able to do live streaming in recovery because this is part of my mouth that moves. And you all see my facial reactions. You all see how much I can not move my face. So I already know that if I try to live stream or whatever, and if it's like still sutured, I'm probably going to rip the sutures. I know me. I know me. Okay. I don't do anything small. And I'd really like to not re-injure myself small. So when I get the date and everything set and finalized, I will let you guys know if there's any changing to the streaming schedule. But until then, yeah, just keep me in your thoughts because I really, gosh, you guys, last thing that I want to get surgery on is anything in regards to my breathing. Also, because of my incident that happened in 2017 and being on a ventilator, yeah, there's some PTSD, there's some scar tissue, there's some traumatic when it comes to breathing. You know, kind of breathing again is what is the whole reason I was able to be off a ventilator. Like my body naturally breathing again is what kind of saved my life. So, you know, messing with that, there's a little bit of trigger stuff now put in place. So we figured this out when I had to get dental surgery, and I can't be in a certain position. If you all heard me before I got my surgery done, I can't be put in a certain position because it triggers the effect. So anyway, I've even tried to get hypnosis done to try to get the trigger taken away. And I guess when you have a trigger put in place because it saved your life, it's hard to get rid of it. So on that note, I'm going to jump into here because I saw Cora came in and she says she is about to, hey, you went from 21 minutes to 7 minutes. That's pretty damn good when it comes to editing. Where I stopped, I was yelling at a lunchbox with John Cena on it. Oh my gosh, oh gosh, that's right, because you've been using the WWE stuff in with your scamming stuff. I can totally see a situation where you've caught yourself yelling. I'm sorry, but the best one is still, wait, don't hate it. Oh gosh, I can't remember the line. Why is it when I come to repeating the line, I can never remember the line, but I can remember the line when I'm thinking, like, it's just weird, but it's basically like, wait, don't hang up. I still have something about needing to figure out the ways to die or something like that. Oh gosh, Cora, write it in the comments if you remember. I know you do. You probably do. But anyway, enough about me. Enough about me. I'm talking enough about me. In the Karen Reed case, it was Wednesday after WrestleMania. I feel nice. It was a Wednesday after WrestleMania that you filmed this. Okay, so we're going to try something new here. We have this whole thing that's called Beta on Stage. Show comments on the screen. Okay, so why aren't they showing? Okay, so we're supposed to have, give me a second, you guys, because I want to see if I can figure out camera slot, dynamic camera grid, media slot. No, that's not going to do it. Okay, so right here, if you guys can see it, there's a little gray box. This is supposed to be the automatic comment stream. So when you guys comment, like this one and this one, it's supposed to be showing up right here. There it goes. There it goes. So now I can just, instead of having to click on it, I can just read along. So now it's going to be, so for all of you that are interested, there's your comments. Yay. But it's something StreamYard updated and started. So I thought I'd try it out. So don't hang up. It was a Wednesday after WrestleMania that I filmed this. Nice. And don't hang up. I was going to burn myself at the stake. That's it. That's right. That's right. Don't hang up. I was going to burn myself at the stake. And if you guys haven't yet, go and look at her, go and watch her stream, her lives, her scammer bait videos. Cora's out her corner. They're absolutely hilarious. They crack me up. But on that note, the Karen Reed trial. Okay, so I wasn't going to talk about this until we did our React channel, but there is too much, literally, there is far too much that has popped off in this retrial than for me to keep my mouth shut. And here's why. Normally when you have a retrial, there's not much new information that comes out. Like pretty much when retrials are supposed to be fairly boring, like actually extremely boring. There was a reason why I was like, kind of like, I'm not going to watch the retrial. Like this is going to be ridiculous. However, I still decided to watch it because so much, like number one, my predictions about me thinking that there's something going on with the Idaho Police Department. And it's not just the Idaho, like it's not just the Karen Reed Police Department. It's the whole state of Idaho. There's something going up. But it's not just the judge. There's something going on where the whole judicial system in the state of Idaho is like corrupt. I've seen it from the beginning. It's coming out. It's going to come out in the Kohlberger trial as well. Anyway, the other day I shared with Cora a video about how the judge, I've been noticing this about the judge as well. However, I've kind of, like I said, Cora and I were going to be covering this on our channel. So I've been kind of keeping my mouth shut about it. Well, I can't keep my mouth shut about it anymore because somebody caught on to it too. And they posted a video about it. So it's, first of all, it was confirmation for me because I was just like, I am seeing it. At certain times, guys, I wonder if I'm actually seeing things that are actually there. I'm psychic. You know, sometimes not everything I see is in the reality realm. Some of it's in the metaphysical. And I have been called out when I was a kid, before I learned to kind of like figure out if it was reality or metaphysical. I embarrassed myself a lot. Okay. So I saw a couple of things that were going on within the trial and all this stuff that I wasn't sure if other people were picking up on. And I not one to necessarily be just like, oh my gosh, this judge is a puppet for the demons and I can see it manipulating her from behind. No, I'm not going to, like, that's not the way they work anyway. But what I will tell you is I had been seeing telltale signs that kept telling me that there was something about this judge that was just off. It was off. There was too many coincidences where she would move and maneuver and do something, and then all of a sudden the defense would object or whatever. I had caught on to it. I didn't want to say anything. I was going to wait until Cora and I did the reaction channel bit. Now I shared the video with Cora. Somebody has caught this, actually put the video together. And this morning, guys, all of the jurors were pooled by the judge this morning. They actually shut down the trial this morning, and the judge called everybody in, from family members to participants to influencers who have been posting on the trial, to everybody. We're talking everybody got pulled in and got pooled. And if you're wondering what pooled means, that means basically the judge questioned everybody about something, and we don't know what it is. Somebody's in trouble with something. What do I think it is? I think the judge, for some strange reason, thinks the jury or somebody on the jury put that video out, thinking that there's no way that anybody could have put this together just by watching the trial. However, there are some things that you don't have to be a psychic for to pick up on. Body language, especially hypersensitive or empaths that aren't necessarily psychics, but definitely fall under the sensitive and psychic realm, will pick up on certain kind of patterns and body language manipulations, especially the smart ones. A lot of people that I know of has actually muted the trial and have been watching it with just like reading the captions and just watching the trial. So, and with how many internet sleuths there are out there, I'm not surprised that this was picked up on. So in my prediction is that this morning's whole situation that happened with the Karen Read trial was literally about this video, about the judge getting caught, giving basically hand signals to the defense on when to throw in objections and everything else. Because, guys, their experts are getting torn to pieces because of their credibility. And if you want my opinion, I do not believe a single person that the prosecute the non-Karen Read side, I keep getting confused on who's basically the prosecution. Thank you. The prosecutions, I don't believe any of the witnesses that they've put on the stand, simply because they're not, like, I can't find any of them credible. Like, there's something within this where I feel like the over arc or the over umbrella of this entire situation is this. Like, John was supposed to choose between Karen and that other chick that was on the stand, and I refuse to say her name because she was just disgusting. Okay. I think amongst the friend group, he was supposed to choose between these two girls. I think his friend group didn't like Karen and liked the other girl. And ultimately, I think there was a confrontation about Karen Read regarding his friends, like, confronting him in dating Karen Read, and that they didn't like her as part of their friend group, and an altercation happened, and they're trying to pin it on Karen Read. And I really do think that it was a couple people from the police department, because stories just aren't lining up, timelines aren't lining up, and now their supposed specialists or their experts don't even are. I wish I could get a job and be a court expert opinion and still be in the process of getting my degree. 17 years later. You know, I know a lot of people that do the same thing, and it's called milking the system because they don't ever want to pay their tuitions. Did you know that? And by the way, government, just in case you were wondering, do you know how many people are taking like 5 or 6 units a semester and doing the bare minimum just so they don't have to pay their student loans? Just saying, if you really want to know why there's so many student loans out there, that's why. And I'm sick of it because, frankly, there's a lot of people that I know that actually do this, and I'm done with it. You need to pay your student loans. Whether you're continuing your education or not, you need to pay your loans. You need to pay your debts. You need to pay, period. So on that note, we're going to jump into another 20-minute sprint. So we've got our 20 minutes on the clock. We're going to zoom this back to the beginning. It looks like, okay, so since that is the case, We're going to move this up so that we have the chat there. I think that'll work. Let me know if that works, you guys. I can't move the chat box. I don't think that's something that they've allowed us to do yet. So forgive me, but it's going to have to work this way, actually. Or we could do it this way. Could do it that way, too. Which way do we like it better, guys? Do we like it there better, or do we like it above better? I think I actually like it above better, because it's kind of still in eye shot, but kind of out of the way. So that's where it's going to be for now. You guys tell me, maybe timer on top, like up here. Kind of like that. We'll try that out. We'll see how that works. But yeah, I think we'll put it there for now. We'll see how that works. All right. I will see you all in 3, 2, 1, and spring. And that's the end of that spread. All right, so let me figure out how much I got done. Bam, I got 22 items done on that one with a total of 78 items. Yeah, we're gonna go into another little rant here and then one more sprint. We might go over the half an hour time period or the 2 hour point, but that's okay. That's okay. We can do it. It's my stream. It's my live stream. I can do what I want. Anyway, so a couple of things that I had we went over the Karen Reed case and the predictions that I already came up with for this year that are seemingly coming true. And I have a couple of karmic lessons examples that I wanted to bring in, and then I'm going to cover the Gemini sun sign as well. So a couple of examples of karmic lessons is, for instance, Jake Tapper, who, if you all didn't know it, he was one of the broadcasters or CNN, MSN, he was one of the newscasters that very blatantly and very insultingly knocked down a lot of the questions in regard to our last president's current mental health and other things. I think it's very interesting that the old Hollywood trick definitely used to be that you helped kind of keep or conceal the secret. And then once everything was said and done, you would then come out with the tell-all and the write-all and reveal everything. And then you then would get a Pulitzer Prize, and you would then get a bunch of awards for, being such an amazing journalist and coming out with the truth in the news. And yeah, well, it doesn't work. This is another example of the old tricks, the old PR moves don't work anymore. The rug is no longer there. Jake Tapper, the fact that you rode along with this entire thing, full knowing exactly what you were going to be writing in a book. Like, he knows exactly what he did. And I thought it was absolutely amazing that Megyn Kelly definitely made him face the facts and called it as it is. And not only that, but through his own words, per recordings, right back in his face. And it's really starting to tick me off because now, as for those of you that are normal followers, you know that on Monday, I mentioned that I wondered if there was a correlation between cognitive health and the cognitive decline and the cancers and having cancer, or your body fighting cancer, or a significant illness. And then all of a sudden it exploded all over the news about how, yes, evidently there is a connection between people who are battling cancers or terminal diseases and cognitive defects. Y'all, they wanted this man to continue running. This is why I'm saying that I don't think President Biden was running the presidency. I think he was definitely the face of everything, but I truly believe that there was people behind the scenes that were running the entire show. He was a puppet. Biden was a puppet. And it's kind of funny because I don't know if Cora remembers this, but I said at the beginning of his presidency that that's exactly what I felt like he was a puppet. And that's why I didn't want to vote for him, was because something about Biden was just like, I don't know. I feel like there's somebody else pulling the strings behind the scenes. And lo and behold, everybody knew. And I think what is happening to Jake Tapper and how he's getting ripped apart by the media and how he's having to face accountability for the fact that he knew all along and helped cover it up, only to inevitably be able to write a book to, he tried to pull the old PR trick that used to work 30, 40 years ago, where you would get 30, 40 years ago, he would have gotten a Pulitzer Prize, you guys. I'm not kidding. And now he's being exposed. He's having to face accountability. And I said this year was it didn't matter what you tried to do to change or manipulate your narrative. This year was going to be one of the biggest lessons that Pluto is making people this is the next 10 years, guys, that Pluto is going to be making people take accountability for their actions. And this is just the start. And we got 10 years of this. Wow. The realization of that kind of just totally hit home for me, of like, oh my gosh, how much more is there? How much more is there to expose? How much more is there of stuff wow. So evidently there's a lot more stuff that is going to be people are going to be held accountable for in the next 10 years. This is insane. And the other thing is if you guys have, you don't, I know most of you don't. I think it's very interesting that Whoopi has, I'm sorry, but that woman has started living up to her nickname. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Whoopi Goldberg's real name is Karen. Yes, I'll give you a second on that one. Whoopi Goldberg's real name is Karen. Whoopi is a nickname that she actually got in Hollywood. And you know how she got the nickname Whoopi? Because every time she moved, she farted. And they started commenting that she was like a whoopee cushion, that all she had to do was move and it would let out, and she would let out a fart. That is how she got the nickname Whoopi. Okay. And I can say right now, that woman is spewing nothing but hot air. That is nothing but hot, gaseous substance coming out of that woman's mouth. Because at this point, The View might as well be just, there might as well be a hot air balloon above them, because at this point, they could just float off together with how much they're spewing. On that note, I'm gonna go over the hots of the hots with our hottest air sign, because even though Gemini is an air sign, they are actually considered a fiery air sign because they are so close to summer. Okay, they're of the warmer air signs. So we're going to jump right into Gemini. And for those of you that are interested, hi, hello, how are you? Welcome. For those of you who are not, I'm going to be jumping into another 20-minute sprint after I go over this. So come back, give it 30 minutes and come back. All right. So the sign of Gemini is an air sign. They are a mutable sign, which means they're kind of flexible. Their ruler is Mercury. The symbol is the twins, and their mode is thought. Gemini is important to me because my moon is a Gemini. Okay. Their colors, or the preferable colors that radiate with Geminis, are yellows and light greens. Their flowers are tansies and yarrow. Their attractions are Virgos, Libras, and Sagittariuses. Their stones are citrine and amber. And the trees are hawthorn and oak. Sun in Gemini, they are extremely fast, smart, adaptable, and curious, easily distracted, and cannot be chained down. They like variety and keeping their options open. The moon in Gemini, the people are social. They have a social nature. They thrive in social settings, easily making connections and friendship. Their ability to adapt their communication style to different people makes them highly likable and approachable. Overview of the sign itself. They desire to integrate socially, but also maintain their own space. They are often outspoken and individualistic. The breakdowns of Geminis, because for those of you who don't know, there are 4 sides to every sign. There's the first, the second, the third, and then the cusp. For Gemini 1, it is May 25th to June 2nd, and they are the freedom. Their representation is the freedom. They are the fighters for independence, and they can be very combative. Gemini 2 is the language. They strive to be originals and very expressive in nature. Gemini 2 is from June 3rd to June 10th. Gemini 3 is from June 11th to June 18th. They are known as the seekers. Adventuresome and limit pushers. They love physical activities and long for addictive activities. Gemini Cancer cusp is June 19th to 24th. They are the magic, inspiring and devotional. However, they can be extremely impulsive in relationships. So that's just a little broad overview of our little Geminis, because we've shifted into that sun sign yesterday. And so we are going to bring 20 minutes up on the clock, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to jump into our last 20-minute sprint. And we are going to go over a little bit, but no biggie, not worried about it. All right. So I will see you all in 20 minutes, and in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. All right, that is the end of that sprint. So let me get a number for you because I worked right up until the end of that sprint. So let me switch here. Let me switch here, and I will tell you if I click on the right button. There we go. So not that one. 49. So 38 items is what I got done on that sprint with a total of 166. 116 or 116 to add to the I think 142 that I already had going here. Anyway, that was a very effective and efficient sprint for me. I hope the rest of you were able to get some work done. I like this little chatty thing over here. We'll have to use it better when we have at the beginning of the sprint instead of at the end of the sprint. So when y'all comment, it actually, scrolls and stuff. But on that note, first of all, I'm going to be this weekend. I'm super excited for this weekend. Friday might be a little bit of a distracted stream. Why? Because the weather is finally warming up here in Spokane. It's supposed to be 80 degrees on Saturday and Sunday. What do you think little Miss San Diego Kibby is going to be doing? Yes, outside, tanning. Absolutely. 100%. So I am going to use this weekend to literally warm up my bone marrow because it is so cold here in Spokane. So this Friday, I might be a little distracted. We'll see what happens, but we're going to be covering a little bit about Pedro Pascual because I'm going to see a little bit more of what happens before I comment on that, because I have a feeling what is happening to Pedro is going to coincide to what is happening with the Gina Carano case and several other things in connection to the Snow White and stuff that's going on. I do want to mention just real quick before the end of the stream that today just happens to be the 30th anniversary of an incident that I actually watched live and pretty much almost went and joined because my dad was a cop at the time. The 1995 tank incident in San Diego. If you've never heard about this, I highly recommend looking it up. It was a huge deal. I was 13 years old at the time, and some guy that was having a very difficult time in life. And I have to admit, I remember when this went down and I was 13, before I'd been homeless, before I'd fought my own addictions, before I had fought my own evils, I was very judgmental because I grew up I grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth. And let's just say that at the time I was very judgmental of this person and was very harsh on his choices of why he did things. However, he ended up stealing a tank, and I mean an Army-issued tank, guys. We're talking a 60-ton loaded ammo tank from an Army reserve in San Diego, and he spent over an hour and a half literally rampaging the streets of San Diego with this tank. He took out RVs. He took out cars. I was very grateful because there was many a times he went into a neighborhood and he could have gone into a house or taken out a few houses, and he chose not to. He actually backed up from hitting the houses, but he ended up on the 163 freeway. And he ended up trying to plow through the medians in the center and got stuck. And this was before the 163 had the express lanes down the center. If you look at the footage from the freeway back then versus the freeway now, there's 3 or 4 lanes now where he ended up getting stuck on these 2 dividers. It's very interesting to me because here's the thing is he broke through the first divider. He didn't break through the second one. He ended up getting stuck and teetering on the 2 dividers. If it had been the freeway that's there now, you guys, he probably would have killed people because he got through that first barrier and he would have been able to plow right into headlong traffic. So there's a part of me that's very grateful that we hadn't updated the freeways yet to an express lane right there, because part of the reason he got stuck was instead of plowing straight into the barrier, which they said that if he had plowed head on, he would have broke through, no problem. But it's because he went at an angle that he ended up getting stuck. The 163 was shut down for like 2 days because the tank was stuck. There was nothing in anyone's armory that could tow a 60-ton tank. And basically not only tow it, but lift it off barriers that it was stuck on. So the 163 was actually closed down for like 2 days in both directions. And I remember talking about this with my friends at school. I remember this being a big old thing on the news. And I especially remember it because my dad, because he was a cop, had a bad habit of listening to scanners when he was home. And that's actually how he picked up on it. And I remember him actually saying, this is one of the times that I wish your mom or your grandfather was home because I would go. And I said, why don't we go? Like, I was willing to go with them. And he was like, no, it's too dangerous for me to take you with me. But I just wanted to give that little shout out. So if any of you want a fun, interesting thing to look up, today just happens to be the anniversary of that. And I remember it vividly because it was my neighborhood, you guys. And yeah, it was, I remember being 13 and thinking, oh my gosh, if I had like crazy Kibby here, actually thought, man, like there was a part of me that kind of wished that I had my driver's license so that I could jump in the car and go to the scene. You can imagine what I was like in my youth. Anyway, that is the end of our stream. And first, I want to say thank you to all of my subs and all of my replay watch crew. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys coming in. Second of all, remember to like and subscribe. I hate saying it, but it really does. It really makes a difference, and it really does help out the channel. So I really appreciate you guys doing it. And on that note, may you pick up your glass so we can do our closing cheers. And may your angels be strong. May your energies be positive, and may karma be ever in your favor. And I will see you guys Friday. Bye.